Disruption Networks.
No.
All right, brother.
I am live, and we are direct, and it's Monday, and it's the only day that I know what it is because it's Local Music Monday that we do here every Monday on the D. We're live on all Disruption Network social media platforms. It's me. How are you? I hope you had a good weekend. Saturday was killer. It was beautiful outside. Got some yard work done, and yesterday we did a whole bunch of great stuff on the D. So shout out to all the great content hosts out there on Disruption Network, out there kicking ass. To Bill Vinci and Meg, and also out to Heather Beebe, and my co-host for Local Music Mondays, my man, my compadre, my brother, my tag team partner. His name is Justin Smithson, and he is live from the Death Star today. What up, brother?
That's right. I am in the Death Star right now. Actually, no, I'm not. But Jeff Moyer, yeah, I am your father. Jeff Moyer actually inspired me to put a different background on my screen. So now, because he disappeared into the fog in San Francisco, so I'm like, I got to one up that somehow. So I had to do the Death Star, you know.
And what a great way to one up him too. It brought a smile to my face too.
Well, there's our guest.
And there's our guest.
Well, no, he's gone. Oh, and he's back.
Oh, what's up?
He's in the bathroom. I feel like he's live in the bathroom right now.
Well, I had to flip a speaker on because with a speaker I can do this. Justin, I am your father.
Yes.
He
Yes.
brought toys. He brought toys.
I love it. I love it.
Yo, Gary, how you doing, buddy? Gary Johnson in the house with us. Are you going to talk to us through the voice changer the whole time?
I am not. It is highly advisable that I don't. It would get annoying very quickly, which I can probably do on my own. So, what's up, guys? How are you?
Good to see you, man. You know,
You
everybody's out there going live on their social media platforms with music, and you're doing it often. Are you setting a set schedule for yourself? Are you doing it, or are you just going randomly?
But it seems like every time I got to fix this. Hold on a minute. I got my dance.
You got problems today, kid. You got problems today.
Well, you know,
It seems like we have problems every Monday.
Jealous. You got all the attention from it.
I was excited to get away from the Moyers for one reason. We'd actually have good Wi-Fi, you know, a good time just having everything set up correctly, and then you show up.
Well, you know, I go ahead and find out that you want me to do the Darth Vader voice. And all right, here we go. Welcome. All right. So anyway,
Tim Hodgson is cracking the first beer. I got mine.
Oh, there we go. You
Sorry,
there?
I was reading. I'm good. I was reading comments. Tim Hodge wrote, "Who's cracking the first beer?" I already cracked mine. So
I'm going for that Clover Valley. I'm looking for that Clover Valley endorsement.
absolutely,
But that sweet
That's,
Dollar General money.
that's
You know
vodka,
anybody?
though, isn't it?
Well, you're not going to find them here.
So yeah, I'm not doing the set schedule to answer your question. I should, but I've kind of been bouncing around because it seems like anytime that I try to, I find out that I started doing Thursdays, and I found out Bill was doing Thursdays, so I didn't want to mess with that. And I know that Tim and Sean were doing Friday nights, so I've been doing early on Fridays. I think that's going to work for me, and I'm going live tonight at 6:30. So I'm going to try for Monday and Friday right now with maybe a Wednesday, but I just don't want to overdo it either. I mean, it's one thing to be, some guys are doing it 3-4 nights a week, and it's working for them. But
Right.
I just don't want to overstay my welcome, so to speak. So
Yeah, that's
Justin,
that's been my whole thing.
Justin, are you familiar with Gary's email address? Do you know his email address?
No, I'm not. I heard I needed to hear this. So
Please let me share his email address with you, if I will.
yes.
All right. His email address is Sean Big Sexy Smith Large Taint at GaryJohnson.com.
Actually,
that's his email address. Or
it's Sean, as close. It's Sean Big Sexy Smith, surprisingly large taint at GD.
That's a long
surprisingly
email.
large taint.
I gotta ask Todd. Were you upset that you had to type that whole thing in? Oh, all right, okay. I was just making sure. You should have typed it all in because it would have been more funny for you. I think
Copy and paste.
Well, here we are.
It works.
Yeah,
John Smith,
it's always funny
surprisingly large taint.
because I have I have a catch-all. So anything at gjsolo.com will just find its way to me no matter what.
Beautiful.
So it's typically something about Tim Moyer, but we've been ragging on him pretty hard lately, so I gotta give him the day off. So Sean was the recipient today.
We had Tim on for almost an hour, but the only kind of video and audio we had from him was a grand total of 3 minutes and 56 seconds. The rest was spent trying to figure out his Wi-Fi. So we're going to have him on again soon. But it's all good because every time one of you guys comes on, we just kind of make fun of him the whole time. And, you know.
It's fair. Although
he stays relevant.
He's still booking me college shows left and right, so I got to tread lightly because he's about my only source of income right now.
Right. Yeah,
so
man.
Shout out to when you tip your drink up, the world kind of opens up into the next dimension. You have to.
It does. I kind of like that.
It's a portal.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'm making Todd's life miserable. I know that, but let's talk a little bit about the college shows and how because that's changed. That's obviously you can't go to the colleges now. But Tim and the rest of the entertainment agents and stuff have figured out a new way to have you reach the kids who are currently at home and doing their thing. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wasn't really as soon as we had Aurora, who just turned 3 yesterday, or I didn't even, who knows what day it is. Turned yeah, who just turned
3 I think someday.
As soon as we had her, I really started to scale back on touring. I just couldn't do it anymore. It was hard enough to be away from one kid, and it wasn't that I was away more. It was that I just beat myself up to no end to be home more. So I get done with the show in North Dakota at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I would drive straight home so that I could be there by the time they woke up on Wednesday. And enough nights like that, between beating myself in my car up, I just I couldn't do it. So I wasn't relying on college money for these couple of months. And I made one of the first statuses I made about this whole pandemic was I could stand to easily lose $20,000, $30,000 in college shows alone. Because this is when you can do all of March and all of April. I mean, in April, I usually have, when I was really pushing it, I'd have 25 shows. And, and I say that lately. I mean, the college market obviously pays great, but it's extremely expensive. And so after commission and expenses and taxes, the dollar amount is a lot less glamorous. So,
sure.
So I wasn't really relying on that. However, I wasn't expecting for everything to get shut down like it did. And I ended up losing, everything. But Tim started calling me right away. And the first thing I did was grab all of the stuff because I had been gearing up to buy a better camera and buy some lighting so that I could start doing videos. So I really hadn't completed my setup yet, but got it together in a hurry so I could start doing some live stuff. Basically, originally as a distraction, I hadn't intended to do it to make money, but obviously we all kind of found that that's the way we can survive right now. Relying on essential workers who are being really, really generous right now. And even those who aren't. There's people who aren't out of work, yourself included. I know that, I'll tip someone and they'll tip me back in the next show. And I know that this is kind of redundant, but it's love, but
it's the laws of karma. The laws of karma, man. It all comes around. It's just one big circle of everybody helping everybody, and that's the beautiful thing that we're seeing right now throughout all this.
You taking a whole evening to just shout people out for 3 hours. Just talk about anybody that's contributing. Because I was thinking about it today. When I got the email from Todd, I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? He's got Todd on payroll. It's not like he's just like doing this in his house. Like, oh, this is something I do on the side. You have staff and people that depend on you. And, so the fact that you're able to still do this is pretty incredible. And the fact that you have people, it's not surprising that you have people willing to help you because this is awesome. But yeah, so my long-winded answer to the question is Tim's called me and said, hey, listen, I got some colleges that are looking for programs to do. And the problem is I'm not saying this to be self-deprecating, but I'm fully aware of what I can and can't do. And when I've been in bands with people like Ryan Quinn and Justin Smithson and Dave King, I know where I stand as a guitar player, I know where I stand as a singer, and I know where I stand as a songwriter. But I do my thing, and I know songs, and if I don't, I hack my way through them, and I'm not afraid to laugh at myself. And I think if my entire thing would crumble if I tried to take it seriously, like, okay, I don't know this song, but I'm going to nail it, you want me to play Britney Spears, so I'm going to really lay in. I'm going to try. It's if I did, the whole thing would crumble. But so in the college market, they weren't necessarily always looking for people to just play. They wanted people that would kind of do something different. So Tim always finds a way to sell stuff. And obviously hardest
well, he's
time.
truly incredible at that. He really is truly incredible at that.
And his business partner, Rich, it is so funny because they couldn't be more opposite.
Wait, whoa. There's somebody else there? There's somebody else that works there? Wait, whoa.
And let me throw in the plug for Agent Paranormal for Rich and his crew, Agent Paranormal,
Hell yeah.
which you can find here on the D too, because he doesn't get any love. He's the quiet partner that you never
He
hear
sure
about,
is,
but
yeah.
He's part of GP Entertainment.
They are.
Absolutely.
Tim's got ideas just flying by my head, and Rich just knows when to reach up and grab one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then he's so methodical and so organized, so
Sure.
he's just deadpan. I rarely emotion, and not that he's not an emotional person. He's extremely supportive of everything, but it's not like he doesn't get amped up and which is not a bad thing. He and Tim balance each other. So those two together, it's amazing because the variety of agencies. And I was with another agency for a little while, and they're good friends with Tim and Rich. They're the biggest agency in the country. I mean, they've got Hunter Hayes did a free live stream for them last week. They've got if Justin Bieber does a college show, he's going to these guys.
Oh, wow.
That their agent is just that they have a very specific place in the college market, and they typically handle bigger acts. But Tim and Rich hopped right on top of this right away, and they're kind of paving a unique path. And in my opinion, from what I'm seeing, they're receiving a lot of love and support in the college market for it. So it's pretty sweet.
Right.
And I'm glad to benefit from it because these little girls aren't. Sorry, as my computers. These little girls need me to provide. So I'd rather take money from colleges with a budget than my friends that's out of work and just wants to help support me. So
Yeah. So another question for you, just because I want to start asking this to the guests that we have on here. Obviously, there's the governor's come on and said he wants to reopen the state in phases. Okay, so obviously, concerts, get-togethers, bands playing, bars reopening, obviously is going to be like part of phase 2 or 3. What
Probably
what do you
phase
think?
10.
Yeah, phase 10. Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't see Saranac continuing on this summer. I mean, I don't know how in the world they're going to do the Boilermaker in September even. Like they just moved to September. But, I mean, how many, 40,000 people in the same area push right up against you. I don't know how you plan on doing that. But back to the question I'm going to ask. Do you think that our lives as musicians in the area is going to change from here on out? Or is there a point in time do you think that we'll get back to where we were before?
Yes and yes. It's going to be the hardest thing, I think, is the day they release the gates. It is going to be St. Patrick's Day, next Thursday, all at once.
Yep.
And everyone's going to run out. I mean, people don't have, unlimited income, but they're going to take what income they have, and they're going to spend it on a hard night out. And so I don't know how hard they're going to hit the bars for how long, but I know at first everyone's going to want to go out. So that's great. But it's also understanding that these bars have been losing money, and there are guys that are going out there. They've got their office jobs during the week, and they're going out and playing, and they can charge a little bit, and that's awesome and great for them. But there's guys like me and you and I think Max doesn't have a day job. People that just play music. That can't, we can only go so far before we're not paying our bills. Sure. And I haven't gotten any money yet from anybody. I haven't gotten money from the government, or I can't, it's either collect unemployment or do these shows. I'd rather do these shows, personally. So it's just been, for a little while, it's going to be hard. And I'm just wondering to see who's going to be able to support it. And if a bar calls me to just listen, for example, I had shows at the Lake House in Sylvan Beach, the Foles Beach House there. All summer. Well, they had to stop construction, so obviously I'm not playing. And I gave them some really peak weekends. I turned down weddings for 4 times as much money because I really wanted to get in that venue in my hometown. So it's going to be a hard go of it, but it'll only be a matter of time before things get back to normal. I mean, it won't be won't be this summer, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There'll be moments of normalcy, but I think it's going to be till next year till we really start to see this. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I just think of the first time, like you said, the first time that the floodgates open and everybody has a chance to get back out there again, that you'll see a resurgence in infections. You know what I mean? Like people just are like, oh my God, I'm stir crazy. I need to get the hell back out there. They might be
right.
They might be asymptomatic. You know, they're not showing any symptoms, but they could be carrying it, and now they're spreading it to everybody else. I mean, are we going to go through this whole thing again? I mean, that's the whole thing that I'm thinking about, and I'm sure that everybody else is thinking about too. But thankfully, I feel like we're all getting better at this live video thing, and unfortunately, I think that we're going to see this for quite some time. That we'll be doing this, maybe even to the point where, maybe we'll all get together, where a group of 5 of us playing together is the new norm in a sense, where we're allowed to at least get together again, that we'll do live videos together as a band or do this, and host live events like that. But it still, to me, doesn't, it's not helping the bars. You know what I mean? Like the bar, like there's certain smaller bars that I think are really, really getting hurt from this. And I don't know how they're going to recover personally.
Yeah. It's, I think those first few nights will obviously help. And there's a lot of people that, I mean, I don't think if they can make it to the day they open, they'll be okay. I think they'll be able to spring back, and people know who they want to go out and support immediately. I mean, there's all these places like Dick's, that people, they have a loyal following and people always go there for sick follows, and we all want to go support them, and we're trying to support who we can with takeout right now and things like that. But it is it's just hard to know where it's going to go. But I'm going to say for sure this is going to be one of my last shows that I do in this space, because I'm preparing for this to continue even when they open the gates, because I know this. There are a lot of people who have never come out to see me in a bar. They can't, whether they, everything from people with kids just can't get out, people who are too busy, people who don't have daycare, people who are recovering alcoholics that just don't go out. I mean, there's all these reasons. And they get a chance to watch me from their house. And that's it's valuable to them. And I appreciate that they're able to tune in. So I am not planning on the live shows going away at all.
Sure.
In fact, rather than doing 5 shows a week in the summertime, I might do 3 and a live show, and consider the fact that me not having to leave and me not having the overhead of having to go somewhere and doing everything right in a vacuum.
Perfect.
Is worth that. So I think that's only going to help me, because my goal is to be home with these girls as much as possible. And any moment that I'm not here, it needs to be worth it, because again, it's going back to them. If I'm not here in this house with them, watching them grow up, what I'm doing has to benefit them. Otherwise, I'm a piece of crap.
For sure.
So, and I know not everybody has to think that way, but I know that you're the same way. I know that you spend every second you can with that little dude, as you should. So I love the Munch video yesterday. It was classic.
Well, I just realized, here's the funny thing. I just realized that maybe I just need to have him next to me every time I play, because I had way more viewers when it was him with him than I've gotten the whole time I've been playing by myself, Yeah,
Lena just peeked around the corner from the kitchen, and she kind of I'm sure she'll be in here before long, but yeah.
But he's a ham, though. He sits right up at my computer, and he goes, I want to talk to people. I go, okay. I like literally hit the live thing, and he's just like looking at it. I'm like, oh, God. He didn't get that from me at all. No way.
I know.
Gary, you brought up a good point, though. You're cutting out a lot of overhead, though. No gas, no travel, right? Not playing these gigs, no
great
fees, which is good and everything like that. But now's the time where you have to adapt to all these changes and set up, like maybe have different setups and do different theme nights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Get kind of creative with your themes and stuff like that. I mean, you do a really cool thing with the all request thing. You've been doing that before this whole social distancing thing became a thing. It's a already in your back pocket. So there's a lot of different themes that you can roll with it. And people are out there they're giving, they're being generous, and they're helping out the artists and stuff, man. And a shout out to all those people out there giving too.
Yeah, and it's I almost don't know. I don't know how I'll repay that. I mean, not that I have to per se, but I mean, there are certain people who I would love to name, but they wouldn't want me to, that have gone so far above and beyond.
Yeah, me too.
Same. Me too.
People that I don't know. People that literally don't even know. There's a woman the other night who she comes out to see me play here and there. She always comes to the casino, and she missed my whole show, but she still sent me more than anyone else did that night. Hold on a second. Either gonna be a kid or a cat.
I was gonna say that's either a kid or a cat.
So she sent me more than anyone else did that night. I didn't know her before 4 months ago. So I mean, and I am lucky enough to kind of have already had the platform set up for the requests. And I've been just throwing a phone on a tripod. I'm like an evil Dr. Evil right now. This cat, he's out. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, anyway. I'm throwing my phone on a tripod during my shows and just live streaming in general. So I've been doing this, and I have people that expect that. So, and that's another thing too, is I don't plan on stopping that, but I'm just going to have a better understanding of, these are going to be live shows where I'll throw the camera up and people who are used to seeing me live, you do that. And then I'll have my dedicated home shows. So it's just, I think that everyone is learning how to embrace this in their own way. And I love seeing the amount of views everybody's getting. I mean, it's just growing and growing.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
And there's days, and I've had people message me, and I message people. I won't name names, but there was someone who is easily one of the most talented people around here, and that was playing the other day, and there were like 25 viewers, and it was a good time. And I shot him a message, I'm like, hey, I had one of those a couple nights ago. Like, you're killing it. And then the next time I logged in, he had 2,500 views. It's tough because how do you gauge the metric? What is successful? What is not? What time is working? What time isn't working? Who am I competing with? Who am I not competing with? Do I want to wait while people are bored during the day? Do I want to wait for those people who are working to get off work? And it's crazy that we have to think of these things, but this is our livelihood. This is how we're supporting our families. So, but I think everyone is finding their place, and I'm seeing the number just go up and up, which is awesome. It really is. Like, I mean, Justin, today you had 110 people at one point that I looked. That's killer. Middle of the day on a Monday. That's awesome.
Well, what was really weird about that is that I just realized that if I go live on my fan page, right, the like page, so to speak, and I share it to my personal page and have people share it, and I shared it to a couple of groups too, which I never realized I didn't realize I could do. I guess I'm like stupid when it comes to this. Like, I'm good with technology, but for this whole like Facebook Live thing, I kind of am stupid with it. But like, I shared to a couple of groups today, and I mean, it really worked out in a sense that it I just want to, I guess that we're all in the same boat, that we just want to reach people, to have them, if they can forget about, this bullshit for an hour, you know what I mean? Or if they just want to immerse themselves in these live videos for the entire time we're going through this, we can provide that for them. You know what I mean? And
exactly,
whether they're tipping us or not, we're glad to do it. You know what I mean? We're happy to be there because this is what we love to do, And, I mean, technically we're not considered essential because we play in bars filled with people, you know what I mean? But this is a way we could reach those same people in the comfort of our home, with our kids, with our wives, with, sitting at home, you know what I mean? And it's a way that we could provide entertainment and a release, an escape from what's going on, I guess,
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you say that, because it's not, yes, this is how we're supporting ourselves. So I mean, the money's appreciated, but it's not about that. I'd rather see 90 people watching and make no money, and it's not just because there's so many reasons why, and you'll understand this, of course, both of you will. There's an energy, even though they're not there. There's an energy when you're seeing the comments pop. People you talk to each other, and there's something being built. You feel a sense of community, which is the thing that I miss most.
Oh, sure.
You're starting to feel this even just in the comment section. So the money's great. Obviously, the money it's helpful, but I'd rather see more people and just know that I'm helping them get through the day, that their kids are watching with them. That's another thing too, like you said,
Yeah.
with our kids. But at the same time, I have my friends who not only can they not come out because of their kids, but their kids can also never see me unless a Sunday at Harpoons or Billion shows, But it's just nice to see, and I love the pictures. Somebody will send me their kid and their cat sitting nose to the TV watching me play. It's just, that stuff is absolutely priceless right now.
Well, it makes it.
You're reaching a whole nother audience.
Yeah, right. And it makes what you're doing. It makes you feel like you're accomplishing something in that sense. And also, I guess sustainable viewership. I mean, like you see people that are staying on watching you, and you feel as if you're touching them in some way. You know what I mean? Like, you're
metaphorically.
Yes, I knew that was coming. That's why, like, I literally lost my train of thought because I'm like, oh, he's going to jump all over this. That's immediately what I thought. So, but you know what I mean, exactly. So, I mean, the sustainable viewership is really what we're after, because it's, if you can keep 80 to 90 viewers, on your show at a time, like, these people are staying tuned in, and you're doing something right. You know what I mean? And if you have one day, like you said, with 25 viewers, that's going to happen, especially if you're sporadic in your playing. I'm going live every Monday at 1:30. I have a set schedule, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And so people know that they can see me at that time. I can't go live more than that, because I feel like if I do, I'm just going to be playing the same songs over and over again. With your niche, you can do that.
I personally would support, and I think a lot of us would rather see you twice a week. And I think a lot more stuff than you realize. More than you give yourself, not more than you really, when you give yourself credit for. Two, I thoroughly enjoy seeing you out of your comfort zone. I think it is a lot exciting. Just with that little bit of extra thought, it's very cool to watch. I've had people tell me that, because that's my only place is out of my comfort zone. I mean, I play guitar since I was 2. It's all I've ever done, and until I was about 16. I just sat in my room all day, just playing fast and trying to be better, and worried about, like, how can I play like Van Halen? How can I play like Steve Vai? And then I realized there's no money in that. So then I was like, well, I got to become a singer. And then I realized that and objectively, looking back on videos, was a very, very, very bad singer. It is the hardest. They say that being a parent is the hardest thing in your life. No, learning how to sing is the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. And I still, every single day, every decision that I make, from what time I wake up, how much water I drink, what I eat, what I don't eat, what I wear, how hot it is in my house, am I going outside? Every decision has to be, how can I get to the point of being able to get through this show? Not like, how can I crush this? Like, I love when those days come, but I'm not. I had 5 surgeries right before we did Quinn's surgery, if you remember, or Quinn's knee. I was just like 3 days post-op. I had 5 surgeries in my face and nose to fix so many problems that I had. And that was a part of Dashboard too, is that I was singing Boston and Journey and Michael Jackson, and I knew I had no reason, no right to be, but it was fun. That band wasn't about being the best. It was about having fun and playing anything that we could possibly think of. But
we had that conversation with Jeff last week, and Z and I both agreed that there was something very, very, very special about Dashboard Nixon. I mean, really, let's be real here. I mean, it was one of those things where you guys would start playing, and people, they'd be dancing, but the musicians in the crowd would just be like, "Are you serious?" Like, oh my God,
great chemistry.
Oh, it was insane.
It really was. And it's funny because we were only around for like just over 3 years. And really, with me moving to Virginia in the middle of that, we were really only around for about 2.5.
Sure.
And a lot of stuff happened in that time. And it was just, I remember specifically the night that I went to, I had just gotten done with Cosmo, where I've been playing with Pat, and I was kind of I shot myself in the foot really hard because I'd canceled a ton of live shows to go do tour dates, And unfortunately, at that time, it was like, do I play the Crazy Clam, or do I go do tickets to Minnesota for 50,000 people? I did what I had to do at that time to, hold on. Don't mind me. What I had to do to better, my career at that moment. But when I left that band, I had burned a lot of bridges. So I had places kind of started to take me back, but I really wanted to start a band again. And I went to the Clam one night, and I saw Jeffrey playing guitar or playing bass. And I didn't realize he had played bass. I was like, wow, this is, I had no idea. So I called him. I was like, hey, listen, why don't we start a band? And this is like a Tuesday. He goes, all right, well, let me call McGill, see if we can get us a date. So I drove to his house like that Thursday. Pat and I got together in his old studio up in Hamilton. We played through like 40, 50 songs, just one after another. We went to McGill's. We charged like half of what we made, a third of what we made by the time we were done. And brought a couple 12s on poles and played to like 15 people. But it was the most fun I've ever had in my life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And immediately it was like the next show was just huge, you know, out of nowhere. And we're like, what are we doing? So we just promised ourselves to never have a plan. And just, I didn't care if we knew the song. I didn't care if we could nail it. Let's play it. And always the only rule I ever had for myself in that was just play it like a rock band. So yeah, we played Brown Eyed Girl, but
you kind of have to.
Don't close the hi-hat. Don't turn your distortion off, and just play it like a rock band will play the song. So people probably can. So we play songs faster than they go, and it was. But I use this analogy a lot. I think of that band the same way that I think of like Chuck E. Cheese. Is when you were younger and like involved, and you were there. It seemed like the biggest thing in the world. Yeah. But I think if we went back as an adult, it would be like, you know, because it was just we needed that so bad. We needed I needed to not be in Cosmo, and Pat needed to not be in Gridley, and it was fresh and new, and it was never the same thing twice. Well, there comes a point where you can only play so many songs, and then either you're getting weird for the sake of getting weird, or getting obscure and people stop caring, or it's Groundhog Day, and I hate that the latter. So it kind of just for me. Between the expectations and, you know, as we added more members, just by the game of numbers, you know, as many songs as Molly and Dave King and Keith knew, every time you add a new person, it's that much more of a chance of all four people not knowing any given song. And that was the thing about Pat and Jeff, is those guys know everything. So it was really kind of overwhelming to be involved with that, but it was definitely some of the best moments of my life.
Sure. I mean, for me, it seemed like every single version of that band, whether you had less people or more people, like it was just I mean, I feel like you could have added 16 members to that band, and it still would have had something special and something magical with it.
Well,
you know what I mean? It was just
with us. I had I got Z doesn't know the story, I'm sure, but I'm extremely allergic to deer fly. So I mean, I can get stung by a bee, doesn't matter. Spiders doesn't matter. But if I get stung by a deer fly, I got stung right in the back of my hand, and I'm not kidding when I say my hand,
dude,
literally the size of a softball.
It was huge.
And, it was terrible. So we had a show at Munson Williams, and I couldn't do it. So Justin came in and played the whole show for me, which was
horrible. It was horrible.
You still say that, but it was super fun. I mean, it was great.
Oh.
But then you did some proper shows with us after the fact. You did a couple of show at Harpoons, and it was fun.
Yeah, we did show Harpoons. That was fun, yeah.
And it was nice to do some stuff well, you know, for me to just kind of lay back and play, you know, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you bring up Dashboard. What happened on New Year's Eve with Dashboard? Jeff brought it up last week. I got to ask.
Wow.
What happened? What was so legendary?
And I'm out.
Was it really that bad?
It wasn't bad for the band at all. It was bad for me.
Oh, it was bad for you. See, I'm thinking there's debauchery going on, and like strippers and drugs and stuff. And
no, we were I was out at dinner with about 20 of my friends at a place in Verona Beach, and it took about an hour and a half to get our food. I had dinner reservations at like 5, and my show started at 9, I think, or 8 or 9, and it was just Pat and Jeff and I at the time, and we didn't have client, and we were using a sound guy even yet. It was brand new. The band was only a month and a half, 2 months old. So it took an hour and a half for our food to come, and finally I was like, I have to go. So don't leave your girlfriend at the dinner table with a bunch of people she just met a couple months prior on New Year's Eve if you plan on having a good night. So, so I told her, I said, listen, I got to leave. What do you think? And she's like, yeah, go. And I was like, all right. And not realizing that there was not, yeah, go. I was like, yeah, go. All right. So the moment that Jeff loves to remember is, I'm sitting there during sound check trying to get stuff checked. And my now wife walks in with the steak and mashed potatoes and asparagus in a to-go container, and from about 10 feet on the dance floor just throws it at me on stage. Not at me, and it surprisingly didn't break open. It just like flew on stage over the guitar amp, and I was like, oh, so this is going to be a fun night. So let's just say it's a very long night. And but ask Jeff about the story again, and if he doesn't mention the little hamburgers, I'll be very surprised. Because the bar made these little hamburgers, and I've never seen anyone in my life be so excited about a particular item of food as Jeff was about those little hamburgers. So, yeah, it was a very, very long night.
It's not what I was expecting, Justin.
No.
Wait. Jeff built it up to like this monumental story. There was so much life around the story.
You know what? Okay. I was so consumed in what I did, I forgot about what Jeffrey did.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I have to tell the story delicately because
Tim Moyer
there's a very good chance people could be watching this.
Tim Moyer just wrote, tell the rest of the story.
Yeah, don't use names to protect the innocent.
Yeah, well, it's not even, I'm not worried about the names. I'm worried about them knowing it, but I'm just going to do it.
Use Meth Joyer.
There were these two girls, one of which was following me around a lot. And she had a nickname that everybody called her. And it got to the point where one night I got a message on my phone saying, do you need a refill? And I responded to her, on what? She goes, on your soda. I had just set a soda on my windowsill next to my bed, which is on the second story in Sylvan Beach, which would have only been viewable from about a half-mile away or on top of the building next door. Like, it was very odd. And I was like, okay, this is going to be a problem. So I couldn't really figure out a way around this because she was a really nice person, but it became an issue. But when I realized how drunk Jeffrey was, I'm like, okay. So I connected the person with Jeffrey, and Patrick connected with one of her friends. And I won't say her friend's name, but I'll say that it reminds me of Scary, and she went by both names. So they end up going to the Oneida Lake Inn, which at the time was nothing like what it was before Carl bought it. This Pat's on awesome. They went back to the Lake Inn, and I can't tell the story. Like, I really can't. I know that we're not like FCC bound, but I'll just say that it was debaucherous. And the next day, I get a phone call from Jeff, hungover as hell, like, dude, can you please come to the hotel and get me and Pat? I'm like, wait, what? He's like, I'll tell you later. And it was like one room, 2 beds, 2 people. It was a thing. And then, I had to bring them back. Not only did I have to bring them back to the bar to get their cars, I had to go back to the hotel and get the girls and drive them back to their cars. They're like, it was rough. The quote of the night that still gets used was, tell her you're gay, Pat. So next time you see Jeff, ask him that.
Yeah. Tim's trying to get Pat involved right now in the conversation.
They had a party that was like, they had a party that was out of this world. I don't know.
Jeff goes, oh no. Here's the thing. The funny thing is, I'm contemplating because Tim really started commenting a lot on this story when Jeff started to tell it last week.
How much did Jeff tell last week?
Nothing.
He didn't tell anything.
He just hyped it up.
He hyped it up. And Tim went crazy. And I'm beginning to think that Tim just really wanted to be a part of the story, but he's not. And so now he's just like trying to hit everybody up.
In a way, it's not like you're imagining like some Motley Crue, like crazy sex party. It's not even that it was that. It was just the circumstances surrounding those 2 particular people. And like, just them like I don't know. I don't properly know what happens. Big J knows what happened. Big J, maybe Big J. I don't know. It was a long night, but it was a lifetime ago. I can tell you that. That was.
All I know is that there was apples, raisins involved. No, I'm kidding.
Might have been.
Oh, Tim said Big J was there. Oh boy.
So
Yeah,
we got some people.
We all had our nights of regret in that band for sure. I could. They can tell stories about me till they're blue in the face. I'm sure.
What'd you say, Z?
I'm looking. See, we do have comments out there. Pat Orlowski saying, "How did you get Kevin James on the show today?"
I was on tour. No, I was at a college in Connecticut with my buddy Joel, my buddy Eric, and Tim, and we were walking through the mall, and we're all dressed up. You know, I've got my hair done, and we're all expensive. They wear this shit every day, but I was I got an expensive shirt, and we all looked like we were trying to book shows and be rock stars. And so we are walking around this mall, and normally it's people thinking that Tim is Pat. That's how that Pat Monahan. That's how that works. But this guy was so excited to walk up to me. He was like, "Dude, I love King of Queens. It's my favorite show." I'm like, so and I was like, at the time I was like, I felt so bad. The guy was so excited. I'm like, "Oh man, that's so cool." He goes, "Hey, will you sign my something?" I'm handing me. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So I signed an autograph. This Kevin James, this guy. I didn't even tell him. This poor guy, he didn't get a picture. Thank God, because you can imagine he takes a picture of me and him. It's like, I met Kevin James. The next day, he's like, that is definitely not Kevin James.
You should have signed it, Gary Johnson. Anyway, that would have been funny.
That would be funny. That's it. So when you and Moira go walking around in malls together, they think he's Pat Moynihan and you're Kevin James. That's
we were at a place called
crazy.
Bada Bings in Buffalo.
I know Bada Bings.
And there was this guy up front.
So does Tony Soprano.
Who was sorry, I'm watching the comments now. So we're at the bar, and I'm hanging out with this college from Philly, and I see Tim just sit in the corner, just shaking his head like this guy's talking to him. So I go over and talk to him. He's like, "Bro, you have no idea how much I love your band. I heard the song 'Marry Me,' and it wasn't even 'Marry Me,' it was something else. It was Drops to Jupiter. I didn't think 'Marry Me' was out at that time." He goes, and I was like, I cried the day that I heard it. Can you just sing something for me? And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. The next day, we go to a Dunkin' Donuts with Tim. Remind me of his name. The guy that was in Jackass that threw the cards. He's from Utica, Utica area. Tim Malone's name.
Sorry.
Let's see.
Wait, finish your story. We'll get to that.
Breaking me. So, we go to a Dunkin' Donuts the next day. Tim's getting us free coffee because they think he's the guy who trained. Tim Carroll, yeah, that's the guy. And I'll have Tim tell you the story about the strip club in Boston because I wasn't there. But let's just say that he got VIP treatment that night.
All right, what are you guys giggling about?
Jeff Moyer. I just read his comments. See, it's I can't even read it out loud.
And then they heard Tim sing. They booed him and kicked him in the nuts.
I just said poor Tim in context. Didn't realize it. Oh, Tim's out. Yeah. We're all digging up dirt today.
Which is exactly why everybody thinks that Tim Moyer is poor Tim. But we tried to set that record straight a couple of guys ago. We had Tim Britt on. Oh, and we lost our guest. He's gone. He's gone.
So what Jeff said is everybody thinks he's the retarded guy.
That one.
Something
I was dying when I saw it. I was like, come on.
Oh, I lost it. Where'd it go? Oh, that's so funny. You guys are hilarious. See, this is what I love about the music community in the 315. Everybody gets along. It's such a great, supportive, and we have all known each other for so many years, and the stories are endless, and we can break balls and break each other's balls and give it right back. And that's what we need to work on. We need to work on like a roast, like the roast of Tim Moyer or something to that effect.
But we just keep keep this show going every week, and that's what we got. So.
And it already turned into that, right?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, before I met Tim, I didn't know what to expect. All I know is he's the exact opposite of everything. Like, anybody that actually knows Tim, he's so quiet and shy. I mean, right now he's talking. But, like, it's funny because he's so quiet and shy sometimes. It's like, how are you the same dude that's up there?
Sure.
Jeff, shots fired.
Wow.
Hold on.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's the
Sorry, we're reading comments. This is not good. It's not good. I'm going to shut my computer now. I don't want to hear any more of this.
I'll read them off. I'll definitely read them off. But no, it is. It's funny because these two go at it. Jeff, the two Moyer brothers, go at it, and they need to do some sort of like a live stream together, where in between songs they just bicker with each other like a divorced couple, like they act like they are.
Oh, sure.
They act like a divorced couple. Those two.
Oh yeah, you could do like a talk show based on them entirely. It'd be amazing.
Indeed. Gary, would you ever think about doing Dashboard again? Is that a possibility or no? Nope. Probably not.
Absolutely not. No, not I mean, and it's funny because everybody thinks that they're like, you and Jeffrey hate each other. I love Jeff. I'd take a bullet for Jeff. I just, it was like the Chuck E. Cheese analogy is my best attempt at it. It's just, it was good in that time for what it was. Right. But I don't think there would be a way for it to be spontaneous again. And without spontaneity, it would be, you couldn't look at that band under a microscope, or even a magnifying glass for that matter. I mean, there's a reason why there are like 3 Dashboard Nixon videos that I'll watch ever and not cringe, because it wasn't about like, is this perfect? Is this right? Is this good? Is this fun? Are they dancing? Right. Are we doing what we want to do right now? So it would be very hard for me to ever. I won't.
I mean, everyone is in a different place in their life right now. Every single person that was in that band is in a different place, and it's, like you said, grown up. I mean, like it's like going back to Chuck E. Cheese again. That's a perfect analogy for Dashboard. It really is.
We did a Jeff said we tried. We did a show for a benefit for an amazing cause that we were glad to do, but it felt so weird because we weren't in the same places in our lives. Like we were like rebelling from. It sounds cheesy. We were really rebelling from whatever we'd been doing prior. And it was from that, and we were just we had no responsibilities. We didn't have to be up in the morning for anything. Sorry, I'm reading comments again. I should know better.
Yeah, it's nonstop right now.
But
so wait, can you give me the yell of the Lion King? You're going on a South African tour. Give me the yell.
I've got my I had to turn my pedal off here because I was running.
Gotcha.
The speaker buzz is driving me crazy, which is why I leaned down a minute ago. So if I had all the echo, I'd probably give it a shot. But otherwise, it would just look and sound stupid.
Orlowski's saying Dashboard would be the only band he'd come out of retirement for.
Oh no! Hey no!
Couldn't do it.
Todd comes through.
He didn't hear him.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I can't. I couldn't do it. I mean, I would. I miss being in a band a lot. I did that punk show, which was super fun. Steve and Kevin and those guys. Those guys. See,
that was really cool.
Fun, but even after a couple of those shows, like I'm already on to trying to think of the next thing because I don't want to keep. I can't do the same thing as much as with this show. With as I point to my pedal board that you can't see, as much as my All Request show, that I know there's those songs I'm always going to have to do. It's just the possibility of something else happening, not knowing that I'm going to get a request for like Crash Test Dummies, a song that I haven't played in 15 years, or something like that. That's what makes it interesting for me. And I have the ability, thank God, as soon as I'm done with the show, to forget everything that I just did. So if I have to do the same thing 2 weeks in a row, I've probably forgotten and won't think about. But yeah, as far as a band, I think I have to rehearse and just have a plan set. I can't do that. I couldn't do that for just anything. Again, if I wanted to put a band together and if Quinn came home and said, "Hey, let's do a show," then I would do that in a second.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Which is in the works. We got something planned. So, you know.
you there? I was supposed to play with him 2 weeks ago at Cavallos.
Oh, yeah. Where is Ryan right now?
He's in Nashville.
Yeah, he's stuck in Nashville right now.
Is he?
He was trekking back home to come home for the summer and was there when everything happened. So he just decided to stay. He was family safe. So
That's a horrible place. That's a horrible place to be, though. I mean, why would any musician want to be in Nashville?
No. I mean, if he had talent, like if he was like good, he might be able to get some work. Or, like,
Seriously, maybe get picked up or something. I don't know. Oh my
I can't even
God!
see the whole thing. Is that so exotic? Yes. Oh no, it's not good. Sorry.
Oh my God, you guys are hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. But yeah, man, Gary, Gary, this has been fun, man. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad we could catch up with you. Last time we got together, we doused ourselves in hot sauce to where I was like, I mean, it hurt so bad for the next couple of days after that. We hung out last time.
That was rough. I got some last dab in the fridge. I can get if I didn't have to sing in an hour and a half, I would go for it.
Are you still indulging in some hot sauce? Are you?
I do. Yeah, I have to be careful when I sorry, I'm not trying not to read comments, but I am here.
Yeah, don't read that. Right here. Hey, look at me. Over here, kid.
Focus.
Right Focus.
I have ADD. I can't help
Bring
it.
it in.
No,
Let's huddle up.
All right, here we focus.
Never
I
mind
have to
those
be careful what I
Moyers.
do, 'cause my doctor told me after I got all the surgery, so like you can't have the day of the show, no acid, no garlic, no onion, no spicy foods. I'm like, no garlic and no spicy foods. Like, why get out of bed in the morning? Like, are you kidding me?
Seriously, yeah.
So,
You're drinking water all day.
yeah, my indulgence is this garbage.
Sure. I'll tell you though. Obviously, we got to get going soon, but I want to say that once we are out of this and we can start using Z Studio again, we're gonna have hopefully we'll Z. The ratings will pop up and Z will allow us to continue this on Monday, so we can all get together in studio and maybe I'd like to do something where like at the end of the show, whoever we have in, does something live, and plays a song or something, just. Maybe we can even collaborate, do something together. But I'd love to have you come back in again when that happens.
Yeah.
So. I'm out for it. I'm there in a second. For sure.
Cool. Awesome.
Gary, have you been doing any writing? Have you been writing any music during this quarantine, or?
I haven't actually.
Yeah.
I've always written songs when I've had to. Like the last CD that I released, I wrote all those songs for a soundtrack, movie that never came out. The trailer came out, which is kind of cool. I got to hear my music. The trailer was some famous people in it, but. When the movie got tanked, I got to go see the premiere, and right before it came out for actual release, it got the shaft. So at least I got to see it. But I had all these songs, and I said, well, at least I should release them. So I released them for that. And no, I've been doing some other stuff and working on just getting prepared for the next step. But the next thing I want to do is record a covers album. I've always wanted to do it. It's what I do. I'm a musician. Primarily, before I'm a guitar player, far before I'm a singer, before I'm a producer or anything, I'm just a musician overall. It's kind of so. I think being able to do something like that would be a blast.
For sure.
So,
Hold on, brother.
maybe I can get some of these insanely talented people around here to help me out.
Hey, Justin, I like when you do a live stream before you come on. I feel like we're your after party. When you do the live stream on Mondays, so you play like at 1 o'clock and then come over here and hang out with me.
Well, yeah,
I feel like I'm the after party.
Well, it keeps me from drinking beer before 3. You know what I mean? Like it's at 1:30, man. I can't be drinking beer then, so I'm drinking water, and then I come on the show and I'm like,
No,
but
hilarious.
This is so much fun, man. I'm enjoying. I don't think we have anybody set up for next week, so we might have Tim and Jeff's mom come on. We should do that and have her talk about some stories.
If you're gonna have her on, I will be tuned in.
Oh my God, she is one of the most incredible women I've ever met in my entire life, and I'm sure she has stories.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, what a great idea!
Yeah, I think maybe we should do that at some point.
Yeah. I would love to get to the bottom of all that.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
How she tolerates that, it's funny too because. She's got the best comebacks for them. Like they can't even.
Oh, she does. It's so incredible. She shuts them both up. It's insane. Tim goes, Mom doesn't know how to use Zoom. Uh,
I'll drive to her house.
What? Hi.
Hey, what's up?
hey.
Hey, I haven't done my hair yet. We probably say, who's that?
Hi, Justin.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Good.
Say we're enjoying quarantine. Can I tell you
miss you
something about
guys.
being a parent?
Yeah.
Wait,
go ahead.
which side is it? Right here. This
Uh-huh.
kid scared the crap out of me a couple months ago. She, from the top of the couch, found her way to the corner of the coffee table and just. I've been a firefighter for literally 20 years, and never been more scared than I was in that moment. But say I'm
Sure.
good.
I'm
I'm
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple pictures later. So, but yeah, I don't want to do this whole thing without at least having her come say hi.
Sure.
Anything
Absolutely.
you want to say to these guys?
No.
No.
Yeah.
All right, go play. See you later. Your sister's up. That's all her little sister's up. She wants to go play. So.
They get big quick, huh?
They sure do.
She'll be 5 on Thursday.
Wow.
Crazy.
Goes by fast. Well,
I
Gary,
can't
thanks for hanging out with us, man. So, if you give your plugs to social medias and
Yeah,
all your
please
where
do.
they can find some of your live streams and whatnot.
allrequestlivestream.com is the direction. The new directed website is just going to take you to my like page. I'm going to go as well to doing my live shows on my fan page. So if you look up Gary Johnson, there's the guy running for president, and then I'm the one right underneath it. Obviously. It's a verified page, so luckily it comes up over the other 100,000 of us in the United States. But yeah, so if you go to allrequestlivestream.com or facebook.com/GJ Solo, that will bring you to tonight's live stream, which is going to be 6:30. I did a couple theme shows, but I feel like those are a bit limiting, so I'm not necessarily going to do that. Although I've had people stoning me, and it's funny that you did this, Justin, because I've had people stoning me for a 90s country night. So I think maybe later in the week, or even next week, I'll do like some Garth and Alan Jackson and
Definitely, man.
Strait, George Strait, which I haven't
Brooks and
played
Dunn.
in 20 years, but it's out there. Yeah.
Love it, man. Thank you so much.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you,
Justin,
guys. It's great to talk to you guys. Everybody, be well, and I'll look forward to checking you out later this week.
for sure, man. Everybody out there in Facebook land, if they could do us a favor and please click the share button and help spread the word of Local Music Mondays here on EC Radio, and our phenomenal, talented friend here, Gary Johnson, and my phenomenal, talented friend, co-host, Mr. Justin Smith. And Justin, when are you going live this week?
I just went live at 1:30, so I think there might be a little surprise in store towards the end of the week. I'll let you guys know about that if once I get it nailed in for sure. So
Awesome. Great. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all that stuff on the social medias. You know how to do it. All things Disruption Network. Please help us out. Spread the word. And much love to all you. And Justin, hang out for a minute so we can figure out a couple more guests too. Gary,
Yeah.
thank you again for coming out. And it's been great to catch up with you, man. And stay safe out there. Much love and keep rocking it.
all
Thanks,
right.
brother. Great to talk to you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Be well.
Thanks, Todd.